Hey everyone, I'm Brian from All Day Ruckoff here, and today we're doing a first look on the GORUCK Rucker version 3.0. Really excited. This thing just showed up today. I've put a mile and a half on it so far because I really wanted to feel how the shoulder straps and the new back fabric and the lumbar support felt, getting out there with 30 pounds. So you don't have to watch me open this thing. It's right here, and this is everything that came in the bag. So it came with a sticker. It came with a sternum strap, one of the new ones. So it says GORUCK nice and big on it. And it is an inch thick instead of 3/4 of an inch. So I guess it's a little bit thicker, and we'll see how that feels. Haven't put it on yet. If you've bought any GORUCK sternum straps, you know that they are a pain to put on. The attachment kind of area looks to be the exact same as those original ones. So this thing probably isn't going to be any easier, which is why I haven't tried to attach it yet. I got the option that came with the hip belt, and I'm actually really glad that I did, because the hip belt is not the standard hip belt. This one has the new fabric on the back side of it, which kind of matches up with the new fabric on the Rucker. So not only does it match the Rucker in color, but it matches it in the fabric used as well. I haven't attached this yet. It attaches the same way. It's got the webbing on the side. You just kind of weave it through and then slide it up. There's a little area on the bottom. So it's pretty quick to attach. And I guess a pro tip, if you've never attached these before, you weave it on the webbing. Otherwise, it's not going to be secure at all. Still no pockets or anything on this. I still think it would be nice if they put like a zipper through the top and you could slide a phone in here or something, but maybe they'll sell an upgraded hip belt that does something like that. Anyways, here is the fun part about the package that showed up. This is the version 3 of the GORUCK Rucker. And so this thing features all the upgrades that version 2 got, as well as some new stuff. Right off the bat, you can see it has a reflective strip across the top of it, kind of right below where the zipper is. This mirrors the Speed Rucker, the black version of it. Had a reflective strip like this as well. For the color, this thing came out in black and red and black and kind of a navy blue. I went with black and red, even though it's a brighter color, and I'm not the biggest fan of how bright this thing is. The black and navy blue had an option when this thing was launched for 25 liters. You could kind of get on the email list then, but they've since removed that. So I went with the red one because if I end up getting a 25-liter pack, I want a different color. So I'm thinking that I'd get blue for that one. Okay, with the GORUCK USA flag patch on it. This pack is made in Vietnam. There aren't any Rucker 3.0s yet that are made in the USA, and there probably won't be, based on kind of Jason's state of GORUCK, where he's bringing manufacturing for the GR1, GR2, GR3 all back to the US, but the fitness gear, so the Rucker, the sandbags, that stuff's all going to be Vietnam made. Take the patch off. You can see it's got a red Velcro rectangle underneath. That patch is going to go up in the Patreon bonus store, so someone can get that for free. It's got a little tag on it. It says Rucker 3.0 20-liter black red with 210D back straps and a standard hip belt. That is the part I am most excited about, and we'll get there in a second. Looking at the bottom of the pack, we've got a bottom grab handle, which you saw on the later versions of the Rucker 2.0. So maybe the Rucker 2.1 or 2.2. The original Rucker 2.0s did not have bottom handles, but the later versions did. This also has drain holes, which you saw in the later versions of the Rucker 2.x as well. It has handles on the side, as well as 3 rows of 2 columns of webbing. So that's the webbing standard, we've got that on both sides. So it matches up with the GR1, matches up with the previous Rucker. These new side handles are new, kind of. They had side handles on the 25-liter Ruckers. There were no side handles on the 20-liter Ruckers. You could ship your Rucker to Scars, and GORUCK Scars would sew them on if you wanted. But now they come built in, and they're red. So there's red on the side, the bottom, the side, and the top as well. Moving to the top, it's got the standard pad handle, and it also has a Velcro area in here so you can have a hydration hose run out, attach it to one of the shoulder straps with an ITW Grim Lock. Super useful, super cheap, $3. So I always attach mine to the shoulder straps, and you can keep your hose steady, not flopping all over the place. And then we get to the back of the pack, which is where, I think the majority of the upgrades have been made on this. Definitely the reflective strip is nice. You can always add one aftermarket. But the back here is a new 210 nylon. And I was really curious about this because this is the first time that GORUCK has ever made, well, they've made packs in 1000D and 500D, but this is the first time that they've gone, into a kind of a newer fabric in a long time. So this is 210. It's a lot softer. It is a ton softer than the 1000D Cordura. So I do not expect any of my shirts to kind of, get ruined by this pack. I've only had one shirt get torn up from the 1000D Cordura. I know other people have had a lot more, but I've been lucky. I think a lot of people are going to be happy with this. You can see the fabrics on the back, and you can see that it's also underneath the shoulder straps. So it's on the part that's going to be in contact with your body. Hopefully a cooler fabric with rucking, and by cooler I mean temperature-wise, because that black 1000D Cordura can get pretty warm. And obviously, GORUCK's done a lot of marketing with this thing. People running around with this pack on shirtless, so it's definitely going to be less abrasive on your skin than the 1000D Cordura. Anyways, very excited about it. I've only rocked a 1.5 miles with it so far, but it's a lot more comfortable. Is it worth, upgrading and getting rid of a perfectly good pack? I don't know. I've done dozens of events with, the Rucker 2.0 and the Rucker 1.0 and the GR1. So they're all great packs, but I'm glad GORUCK is continuing to improve on this. And the other thing that they've changed on the back here as well is they've added lumbar support. And this is really comfortable for me, and I hope it's really comfortable for you too. I'll throw this pack on at the end of this and you can kind of see what I'm talking about here, but it really kind of defines how you're going to wear this pack, I should say. Because if we kind of flip the shoulder strap around, I'll flip the other one around too. There we go. So now we're just looking at the back. We've got both shoulder straps flipped around. You can see just how tall this lumbar support is. It is, I want to say 3/4 of an inch taller than the other padding. It is a big area, and it's this entire pad on the bottom. It sticks out a bit when it's in the right area on your back. It feels awesome. It took me, a 1/4 mile to get it in that spot. And, if I pulled it up really, really tight, it came back, and then I had this pad kind of rubbing in my spine. And I don't want to say it felt bad, but it was definitely something to get used to. But when it was down in the right spot, it was awesome. So I'm curious if it's going to break in at all. Obviously at 1.5 miles, I'm just speculating here. But when this pack is, the way it's supposed to be on your back, it feels really nice. I guess for people with different sized torsos, if you've got one of these, I would love to hear feedback because this thing fits great on me. If you've got a really long torso, if you have a really short torso, are you finding any issues with this? If it's sitting higher in your back or if it's sitting lower, if it's kind of on your tailbone, let me know. I'm really curious how everyone else is doing with this thing. All right, so let's get into the inside of the pack. Clamshell opening. I mean, that's typical on all the GORUCK packs. We've got the top pocket, the bottom mesh pocket. If you've researched GORUCK bags at all, if you've seen GORUCK bags and you're very familiar with these two, it says GORUCK Rucker Lifetime Guarantee. The USA made ones usually say made in the USA here at the bottom. There's nothing, there's nothing here that says GORUCK Rucker 3.0. So you just kind of have to know, given the built-in reflective strap, the different fabric on the back, the side handles, and it being a 20-liter pack, that it's going to be a 3.0. And then flipping this thing around, you can see we've got the nice little D-ring on top for hooking a bladder to. We've got the ruck plate pouch that's elevated here, so you can throw in it used to be called the Expert 20 pound and 30 pounds. Now it might be the 4 Rucker. I know GORUCK changes the names on them all the time. Well, not all the time, but often enough that it's probably different than whatever I'm saying right now. But those fit in here great. Otherwise, you can throw in a 10 pound or 2 10 pounds, stack them, and that works fine too. So I did that the most recent Star course with a speed Rucker. I threw in 2 10 pound Titan Fitness plates because I couldn't find the GORUCK 20 pound plate, and that worked totally fine. It's got a elastic pocket here, which should be able to fit up to a 45 pound plate. According to the website, it does. The 2.0 did, the 1.0 definitely did. Assuming this does as well. I threw my 30 pound plate up here on top for the 1.5 miles I just did with this. And then I guess this is a good spot to look at the final piece of this pack that's different than the previous version of the Rucker. I'll fold this thing out. The frame sheet extends deeper on this one than it did on the 2.0. So you should get less of the bending. It is nice with that new back padding and the way the lumbar support is set up, that even though the frame sheet goes down to the bottom, it doesn't dig in your back because the lumbar support pushes the kind of that bottom area of the pack off your back. And then I guess finally we've got the little GORUCK hang tag down here. It says GORUCK on one side and then built in Vietnam on the other, and then a little 20-liter indicator right there, so you know what size pack this is. So I'm going to fold this thing back around. I'm going to throw it on so you can see what it looks like, and you can kind of see how that lumbar support can sit in different areas depending on how tight the shoulder straps are or how loose they are. Here's the pack completely loose. This is with the shoulder strap webbing not tight at all. It's as loose as it gets. You're going to pull it as tight as it will go on me. You can see the pack lifts up quite a bit. You can see where that lower pad adjusts in height, pretty substantially. And then here it is back to kind of the sweet spot I found. Here's the back of the pack. Here's the other side of the pack. And here is the front of the pack. One final thing I want to mention on the pack before we go, it does have a embroidered spearhead into the bottom webbing area, and it's been found on previous Ruckers, it's been found on bullets, and it's the same color as the thread, so you really don't notice it at all. Especially with this red thread, it's difficult to notice. So there's the exterior GORUCK branding there. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learn more about the Rucker 3.0. If you've got any questions about it, please feel free to leave a comment, ask them. I will do my best to answer them. I hope this video sounds okay. I haven't edited yet, obviously, because I'm still shooting it. But this is the new office space here, and there's no, there's nothing in the walls. So I'm guessing it might be a little bit echoey, so apologies for that. If you support on Patreon, then you've probably been following along with the whole last 6 months of this office creation story. If you do support on Patreon, thank you so much for the support. And if you don't support, you can check it out, patreon.com/alldayruckoff. There's a link down below, or alldayruckoff.com/Patreon. As little as $1 a month, you get access to some behind the scenes stuff. And there's a Patreon bonuses section of the store where I throw a bunch of the stuff I get that I don't need, but maybe you want. So this GORUCK patch right here is definitely going to be going up there. I've already put 2 or 3 of them up there in the past. Some stickers, coasters, some items that come in that maybe have a crease and I don't want to sell them in the online store. So a bunch of free stuff goes up there. So you can check all that out on patreon.com/alldayruckoff. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing. There's going to be more videos on the way, especially as this office nears completion and there's, a better space to shoot in. If you found the video helpful, please give it a like. We'd truly appreciate it. And as always, don't forget, attitude is everything. Keep yours positive.